Welcome, everybody. This is Beyond the Walls. You're here with me, your man, young brother better preach, Harry. I'm here with my man, One.
Yes, sir.
D.
Shouty.
Rico.
Sack up fed.
And a new member to the bunch. Little guest, Miss Wendy.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good to have you here.
Good to be here.
Good, definitely great
in
to
the
have
midst
you
of
here.
all this testosterone.
Yeah,
What
it's
a
definitely
joke.
good to have that balance of estrogen in the room.
Balenciaga.
Just
Yeah.
got done doing push-ups.
This is good. This is good. We're here to cap off February with a little Black History talk. Before we get into that, like and subscribe to our podcast on Apple iTunes. Also, like and subscribe to us. Click the bell on YouTube if you're seeing this. That bell down at the corner. Click that. We won't, harass you with, commercials or anything like that. When there's a new episode, you'll know about it. All right. So, our first topic is Black History Month.
To this day.
To this day.
Is it just another month to you, or is it something that should be commemorated? Is it something that you should intentionally explore your Black heritage? Is it something that you should devote time to doing? To figuring out where you come from, figuring out who's come before you, or is it just another month? What's your word on it?
Honestly, I remember being interviewed about this question a long time ago when I was at school, and somebody did ask that, and I said, it kind of seems like it's another month now because, excuse me, it just does. It's not really celebrated anymore. I feel like a lot of people think that, okay, we got what we got. That's cool. Screw the past. This is what we have to work with. We'll be fine either way moving forward.
Right.
So I definitely feel like it should be celebrated. The truth should be told about a lot of, the affluent neighborhoods back then and so on and so forth. But it isn't. It's
Right.
not.
How about y'all?
It's kind of like this thing that comes up too whenever a new movie about slavery comes out.
I can't watch them no more.
And people are like, oh,
Word.
that's enough with the slavery movies. The problem is when those movies and things like that stop getting made, they get forgotten, right?
Yeah.
Because
Real
I think
quick.
we all know people are not necessarily reading things and different things like that. So it is important, for us to have pop culture examples of these things, just because once you see fewer and fewer slave movies, what will end up happening is slavery will become a myth or something that happened just after the dinosaurs, and it wasn't that long ago.
Right.
So there is a frivolous aspect of a quote unquote Black History Month. The problem is, without it being highlighted at least one time a year, it just won't be highlighted.
Yeah. I agree. I heard Bill Burr, he's a comedian, funny dude. Heard him say on a talk show years ago, he said every year white people add 100 years to how long ago slavery was.
That is so spot on, right?
That's fact.
That is so spot on.
And I was so with that when you said
So
people
accurate.
are tired of, slave movies. Like
Right.
when 12 Years a Slave came out,
Yeah.
and Lupita Nyong'o was in that, I was
Yep.
like, I can't.
Right.
I love her, but I'm done with slave movies. But that's a great point. Like, if they stop making them, the stories stop getting told.
Right.
And there's so many more there's thousands of more stories
For sure.
about men and women we have no idea
sure.
about.
Yeah.
100%.
That are amazing stories that
Yeah.
are soon, they have yet to be made.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
and
it needs to
again,
be done.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's one of these things where, I think about it from time to time, and the problem with, I'll give you a for instance, right? I'm not Jewish. I don't regularly think about the Holocaust.
Right.
But now Al Pacino is in a new show about people hunting Nazis, which has made me, oh yeah, the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I would imagine Jewish people think about the Holocaust regularly, but I
Yeah.
do not. Not because I'm a bad person. It's just something that I don't necessarily think about. And that's how I feel about Black History Month and just, Black culture in general. It's one of these things where unfortunately, if it is not regular, I would imagine in Nigeria, there's no Black History Month.
No, because it's just it's
just-
just who they are.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right,
It's
right.
part of their history.
So,
I got a full month maybe.
we live in a predominantly white society. And so having a month in which this is highlighted, as frivolous as it feels, with like the McDonald's commercials and you know, the NFL highlighting, you know, black execs or whatever the case may be, my fear is without it, we don't discuss these things ever.
For sure.
Right. And we're reduced to, you know, dumb commercials that cater to us, like that Mary J. Blige McDonald's commercials that she did about McNuggets that still gets me angry to this day.
To this day.
But did y'all see that Google Black History Month?
Yeah,
See
I thought
that,
that was
see
dope.
now
I
that a
thought that was
nuance
dope.
like that is
That was
so good, so
I didn't
needed.
catch it. What they do?
It's like it Googled most searched Star Spangled Banner performance, Whitney Houston. Most Google searched sermon or speech, Martin Luther King. There's like so many of these,
Gotcha.
and they had this like video montage of these,
That's
all
dope.
these different things. Like, you know, people, you know, who do those things, who are behind the scenes doing that, like these are the people that need an applause,
For sure.
you know, because it gets it in people's minds. You know what I'm saying? It gets it in the forefront of their mind to realize, like, yeah, this is not just, you know, for a white person or a black person. It just reminds you, not to depress you, but this was something part of our
For
history.
sure.
Yeah.
Something part of our history.
But I think for me, Black History Month didn't have a significance until my older years because,
Right.
you know, as a Haitian American, that line, that balancing act of being Haitian
Yeah.
but Black, like that identity of I'm Black really didn't kick in until my 20s.
This is true.
Like,
That's true.
I'm Black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People see me as Black because all my life I was Haitian.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so now that my kids are growing up, I have to teach them that you're both of these things.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably going to be, in their mind, more Black than Haitian
Right.
because, unfortunately, I'm doing a sucky job at passing on language,
The language.
etc.
Yeah,
Yes.
the language is
Right.
key here.
But, you know, but now, so me coming to that realization that I'm Black in my 20s, which is a long time.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I went through life, like I thought everyone was something else besides like Black.
Yeah.
And in high school, when that was my question, what are you?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like Jamaican, Liberian, like, but like Black. No, but like what else? Like, what are you?
I think
like,
the term is regular
no,
black.
like just
like
Black
Black.
American.
Black American, or just you just
I
regular
thought all black
Yeah.
people were the same. I thought all black people went to church.
Yeah.
I thought all black people did not
Well,
smoke cigarettes.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I mean?
another one.
So I
all
just thought
Black
all
girls
black
knew how to
people was-
cook and do hair
Yeah.
and sing. Like I thought these
Lord,
stereotypes
I'm
Yeah.
mute.
were real.
Yeah.
And so, you know, in Black History Month, which I mean, there's enough Black people doing great things and that have done great things to have every day be a
Of course.
Black
Well,
History Day. Unfortunately,
It-
it's not going to be that. It ain't going to be in our history books. It's not, you know, and it's up to,
Us.
unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
well, yes, us, which is unfortunate, but like most schools to integrate these things into their
Curriculum. Yeah.
And
mm,
I just casually asked my daughter, she's in first grade, and I was like, oh, what are you guys doing for Black History Month? And she's like, what's Black History Month?
oh.
And I was like, oh, okay.
that was that Haitian
Right.
hit. That was that Haitian
Jeez
hit.
Louise, Batman.
Oh.
I was taken aback.
Wow.
But then I'm like,
Crazy.
okay, it's first grade too young? Like when? But
It's
then,
first grade too young.
right? But like,
Man.
I'm so, you know, I'm that parent that I'm popping up at the school, like,
Mhm,
don't play with my kids. So I'm like, am I sending an email to like the staff? Like,
What are y'all doing?
happening?
what are y'all doing? Like, y'all not acknowledging this?
But what's the demographic at your school though? They're
They go
ethnic
to a
teachers?
very diverse school now, but all of the teachers
Are
are non-minority.
exactly.
Yeah. It's just not in. It's not like they're
Which is another
willfully
problem.
trying to like keep Black History Month out of schools. Maybe they are, but the teachers, I'm pretty sure, they're just going through the motions sometimes. They're not even
This is
thinking
what's on
about
the
that.
curriculum. I'm
But
gonna
in my
teach it.
opinion, and I think we would all agree, Black history is American history.
It is.
Yes,
It
it
is.
is.
Just
Yeah.
there's so many structures and things like lay on the backs of Black people.
Yeah, yeah.
Just structurally, it just, you know, they got they got the short end of the stick and had to do all the dirty work with a lot of different things. You know, so I feel like it should be part of it's part of American history. It shouldn't be segregated into like 1 month. It should be all through the curriculum.
It should be.
When we're talking about inventions, people need to talk about the fact that Jesse Russell is the dude that you're like the reason why you're able to do this and text while you're driving is because
I thought it was Steve Jobs, bro.
it's because of Jesse
I thought it was
Russell.
Steve Jobs.
It's Jesse,
Wow.
the man who invented, you know, the cell phone. You know what I'm saying? So it's like innovations like that. Like there's so many other
Clock,
contributions.
Benjamin Banneker,
There you go.
first American clock. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
So,
there's so many things. You know,
Like even ridiculous things like this little girl in the whole renegade dance, the one who started it, but this, you know, non-melanated person who went and took credit for it and like became popular on social media for this
Is
dance.
that what happened?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I was
what
wondering.
dance are we talking about?
This renegade.
You're
Is it-
very old.
is it New
You're very
Orleans?
old.
Is it a New Orleans
No,
dance? That
it's,
joint with
this
it?
No.
dude K Camp. It's his song, but I was wondering why were they like elevating the girl so much? So what you're saying is
the little
somebody-
brown girl,
Ladies
right?
and gentlemen, I am out of
Because
touch.
this little, this teen non-melanated girl took it,
Is she white?
made it. Yes. No.
Ladies and gentlemen, she's white.
Yes.
Nah, she might
But
be
that's okay.
Portuguese.
Yeah,
But that's okay.
So she took it and like
Right.
J-Lo was hitting her up and like she was going on and doing this dance for all these celebrities and teaching these
Right.
celebrities how to do this little TikTok
Right.
dance.
Mhm.
That
Were
wasn't
they-
her.
were they- at the
Oh,
All-Star
I know
game?
what you're talking about. I
Um,
know what dance she's
No.
talking about.
So,
I
they
know what
might have.
They might
been.
have been
Not
They
that
one.
might have. 'Cause I think
So,
there
like,
was a clip of her
Sierra's doing it, a
showing
whole
like
bunch of celebrities are
cheerleaders
doing it.
And basketball
how to
players.
do it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're
And
talking
so
about.
now that this little black girl
Yeah,
has finally gotten her
shine.
credit
Yeah.
for it, now like everyone's
It's
like
played
big
out.
up in her.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
No,
But
yeah,
no.
which is dope. And I don't mean to cut you off, but I didn't realize that was like, and here's the thing, right? Like, obviously, a dance like that or something to that effect is probably frivolous, right?
Yeah.
But you got to figure this is 2020.
Mhm.
You rewind to the 80s,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and that black girl would have vanished from history.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She would have vanished, right?
Yeah.
She would have,
And if she came out, she would have been hated.
or it would have been like,
Yeah.
oh,
That's a
yeah,
stupid
yeah,
dance.
like, or whatever the case.
Right. It wasn't all
Um,
that anyway, right?
And the interesting thing about that is, because now that I think back on it, I remember All-Star Weekend, and you know how like All-Star Weekend is like a lot of goofy stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
I remember seeing a girl showing a couple of the players how to do this dance, but I'm like, I'm old, dog. I got a bunch of kids. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever.
I guess they'll show me later.
Right. And I was like, okay, whatever. But now, like, it has like a bit of a darker tone to it because, like, imagine being this girl sitting at the house watching All-Star Weekend,
Yeah.
and like somebody's like doing a
Oh,
thing
yeah.
that you
Yeah.
created. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's how I felt when Dame Dash stole my the little.
Oh my
See, that-
God, bro!
I swear,
this
I
guy.
definitely stole it. I felt the same way. It's like this guy's on a ship with a lot of champagne,
right,
doing my dance,
right.
and everybody sees it, and it's not coming.
But what are you
Oh,
supposed to do with the champagne anyway?
I'm no
I wouldn't
math-
go.
Not the
I wouldn't go
champagne,
toe
it
to
was
toe
a
with Dame
dance.
Dash. He's
Yeah,
a
I'm no,
dance,
I'm no
yeah, you know.
mathematician. But at that time, you were like 6.
This is the thing, though. That shows my genius.
I mean, maybe you were doing it with apple juice. Like, slightly different thing.
Man, Black History should be all year round.
100%.
It's part of history.
100%.
Every day.
It needs to be done.
Yup.
You know what it is, and now that I'm thinking about it,
Yeah.
Black History Month is not for Black people,
Mm. Mm.
right?
Well,
Like,
That's quite the point. That's quite the point.
What I mean by
But
that
I-
is,
See now,
I could
see,
agree
you
to
just opened up
disagree
a
at the
layer.
same time.
Okay,
right?
I could
feel you.
disagree at the same time.
That's why it's only in a month because it's not for.
What I mean by that is, as Black people, we don't go, "Oh yeah, it's February." You know what? That's right. We
Yeah.
invented certain
Yeah,
things. Whatever.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
don't.
yeah.
We're not the ones who are doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
And again, I'm willing to acknowledge how, like, the silliness of it, right?
Mhm.
Where it's like February 1st,
Yeah.
and now we get Black Kia commercials, and hey, did you know? Matter of fact, the hey, did you know is an interesting thing because in 2020, I'm still like, I didn't know that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So maybe it is, maybe it's for Black people. It's not for Black people, but maybe me, just in the sense. But what I'm getting at is, H, I personally don't. I don't look forward to February because it's Black History Month, but I also don't want to see it go away.
No, definitely not.
Just because in the event Black History Month disappears, that means that part of Black culture also goes away.
Word.
Right.
And so just like you said, like, you know, you ask your daughter, hey, what's happening with Black History Month? And she says, what's Black History Month? At least it's an actual thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because once it goes away, like I said, it becomes difficult for people to even discuss, you know, the realities of
it's kind of like, it's like that generational type thing, right? Where things are supposed to be passed down and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not really passed down.
Right.
For me, I'm kind of in the middle with Wendy. We're Haitian, right?
Yeah.
So Black History Month, the Haitian Revolution was part of it, but at the same time, it's like
we celebrate that in January, the month we drank.
You know what I mean?
We ate our soup and we was lit.
You know, so I'm not saying we're different or anything
but
like that.
That needs to be highlighted as well.
But it is though.
People.
Yeah,
but it is though in certain places.
Highlighted. What commercials have you seen about
not
kid
commercials
and all of that?
No.
Well, I don't want to get there, but globally, you know, we've been hated for centuries.
No, yeah,
even the New Orleans effect.
They shouted us
Same
out.
type of thing. You know what
they
I mean?
shouted us out.
There's a bunch of things we did, you know, for people. Even during the Holocaust, you talking about the Holocaust.
They took Haitian people.
We put people in there.
Jewish people.
Yes, during the Holocaust.
That's why there's a small pocket of a German population in Haiti. They took in people long ago. There's even Asian folks in Haiti. I think a small pocket of Asian folks in Haiti. So I can't remember.
But we're never gonna get credit for that, man. But it's all good though.
We were a refuge for a lot of different people.
Yeah,
but
I'm proud to be Haitian and Black. Haitian,
proud to be
African.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
Okay, Hershey man.
That's that too.
Okay, Hershey man.
Let's spin. Let's turn a corner. We wanted to get into our quick relationship segment.
Happy Valentine's Day, by the way.
All you single people out there,
Relax.
Fellas, we have a lady on set, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we have to go all in.
Way to set expectations, baby.
Right?
So the question that was posed on the thread when we was talking about this, and we don't even know what we're gonna call this relationship talk, but
I'm nervous. I don't even know.
But wait,
There's
more. Are women bugging, or do men just don't listen?
The latter.
Or do they take too long to listen before they, you know what I'm saying? Before they lose it?
Ladies first.
The latter.
Ain't no ladders in here. All right? Be specific with what you're talking about.
For real.
I'll start it off.
We are not bugging.
In general, men use more words than women. I think there's a study.
What?
Like in a day. I'm sorry. Women use more
I was
words
about
than
to
men.
say,
Sorry
I'm
about that.
like,
I switched
what
that
world
up.
am I living in, Lord?
Women use more
Tell me
words
what
than-
world I'm living in.
Hold on. Here's what's funny. He said it, right? And then all the dudes got quiet.
Yeah.
Which immediately disproves the
I
study,
know,
right? Because our reaction was silence.
like,
Who spoke?
There's some study out there that says
All
in
the
a
dudes
day.
got quiet. Who spoke the female?
Yeah.
But go ahead, man. We understand.
There's a study out there that says that women on average use 25,000 words a day. And then for the male, it's like 10 to 15,000 words a day.
Okay.
And I think one of my theories on the fact that, men don't listen, I think that we've learned or we've taught ourselves to filter out stuff that's not important, because sometimes females are
we're
into
gifted at that.
details. Like yo,
Everything is
your
important.
man gets home, he says, yo, Wendy, what's for dinner? Well, I went by the Stop and Shop and I saw my girl Tracy.
And then your head is bruh.
And I asked her, oh, is the chicken on sale
Meanwhile, your
this
stomach is
weekend?
turning.
And then I went down to Shaw's because I knew that they had the organic chicken on sale. And like, you just waiting for no, I just asked you this question. So
Yeah.
I think men have learned to tune out certain things. And I think amongst that tuning out, I think we lose certain things.
Some
in the filter.
important,
We lose something. And let me be forthcoming. There are other times where women say something and it's already been said before, and it's like, yeah, I know, and you just throw it to the back of your mind automatically. Because don't worry about it. I'm taking care of it.
But when they ask you,
they
and
ask
you can't give the answer right.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't give the answer the right way.
Y'all taking it wrong with it.
His head,
Y'all taking it wrong with it, but that's one of my theories on it. I think it's just we filter out way too much because there's so much information and details coming in.
Yeah.
We're trying to sort things
A
out.
lot coming in.
There's a
Oh
lot,
yeah. Oh Lord.
you know?
Yeah.
So I think at the crux of the matter is this. There's always going to be one party who's thinking the other party is bugging when y'all are not understanding what each other are saying. I think with time comes learning each other's communication style.
Yes.
And with learning each other's communication styles, you can understand a lot with nothing. Right? Some questions I don't even have to ask my husband. Like I can make decisions without him because I already know like what his answer is gonna be. And he can do the same for me when it comes to certain things.
Right.
That I already know what I can go out and pick out dinner because I know what he likes. I know what sides to get. Like he now knows after I had to spaz a few times to get 4 extra duck sauce
How
with
many
the
is
Chinese
few?
food.
Right?
How many's a few?
Let me put
Wow.
a little
Yo,
question.
she hold on.
This is funny.
She brought it to food.
Are
bro.
women
micro
bugging?
rant
You
real
bring it to
quick.
food,
You
bro.
say women aren't bugging.
Yo,
Then you casually say,
yo,
I spazzed
because he
a
knows.
few times.
Yeah, yeah, a
That's
few times.
consistent with
Few could
bugging,
be
baby.
2.
No, but
few
You could also
10,000.
be 11.
For
Well,
sure.
look.
I don't think the blame is on them. Real quick,
Not for nothing.
you
I
can
like
order
duck
like
sauce too.
you can order like 8 plates of rice
I'm gonna keep it funky with
from
you.
the local Chinese food
When you
spot,
gotta get 2
takeout
duck
spot,
sauces.
Yes.
and they only give you like 3 duck sauces.
No, no,
Come
no.
on, son.
Listen
Like,
to me.
Let's go.
Listen to me. They know me. Hey, listen, you know me, dog. Like when I say give me my duck sauce, because they already know. They be
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
yo,
yeah.
and he'll give me 2, and I'll look at him, and he looks at me.
And that's it. Yeah,
I'll
he'll
look
give
at
you
him
the-
again.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
No, I got a
Yeah,
wife
that's
at home.
it.
Give me some more.
Facts,
Anyway,
man.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But see, in the beginning, when we go get Chinese food or go pick it up, and I always say, can I have 4 duck sauce? You are with me when I say, can I have 4 duck sauce?
Right.
Duck
Now,
sauce
if
ain't
you
the
go
meal, though.
by yourself to
Right.
pick up food
Right, right.
for me,
Don't come back with
you
2.
have been with me
Right.
on multiple occasions
Many.
hearing me
Many.
request
Right.
for a duck sauce.
Right.
If you come back with 1 duck sauce, I'm not going to be happy because
Come on,
you
man. We
should
could just
know-
split it. What's your problem, bro? Like, come on.
I understand that. I
Put
do
some
understand
water
that
in the
because
duck
I do that
sauce.
all of the time. And I like today.
See, I'm not listening to him because
Today
he
was
loves
not.
duck sauce.
Me
I
too.
love duck sauce.
Me too.
But what I'm talking about, what you
It's gotta
say
be
when
in
hey, if you went out with me before, you saw this is what I like. If you go out, how come you just don't do it for me? Because
Exactly.
well, you guys just more that nurture thing about you ladies. You guys have that. You always think like today I had to catch myself. I was like on a go. I got some green juice for myself. I got some Starbucks glass coffee milk for myself, and I was like ready to leave the store. I said, I know when I get to the car, she's gonna
Yep.
bug out because
Yep.
I didn't get it for her.
Yep.
Yeah.
But she knows I'm going in to get something. How come she
Babe,
just
you want
doesn't
something?
ask
No, I don't
me?
want
Nope.
anything.
Okay, can you do
Nope.
it?
Right.
You know, but I
Nope.
understand what you're saying. It's just the nurture thing. You guys are natural with that stuff. We don't. Me personally, let me not say we.
Yeah.
Me, if I'm not consciously making an effort to do it, or you're not communicating with me that's what you want done,
but how
and
many
I'm-
times must one communicate with you that that's what they
every
need?
time.
Hold on. Number one, no, ho. Every time you communicate, it doesn't mean it's the same way. It comes in various ways. Y'all don't use the same. If guys talk, we use the same lingo, the same thing, over and over and over again. Women, Jizzy. You use something like y'all become the best poets in the world. Just start saying this left and the right and this, that, and the third. Why don't you just tell me how you always say it? Like you said that, he doesn't pick up the duck sauce sometimes, but if you gave a direct order, which guys actually listen to, direct orders, like I want 4 duck sauce and that's it. And if you didn't do some type of story or some type of thing around it, he'd be like, dang, what did she say?
Yeah.
4 duck sauce? What did she say?
Oh, you come back with everything but the duck sauce.
Right? Exactly.
Lost in the
You know what I'm
filter.
saying?
Here's the thing.
It's lost in translation.
The initial question is, are women bugging or do we not pay attention until they lose it? The answer is both.
Yeah.
That's true.
Mhm.
Now,
That's true.
here's the difficulty, right? As dudes, we speak the same, we using the same vocabulary as the women we're with,
Yeah.
but we speak different languages.
Yeah.
And what's hard about that is, like, I'll give you a for instance, right? If the 4 of us were talking and whatever we're talking about in a given day, right? We took a car to the shop. And then at one point, I'll use the phrase like, yo, you already know how this thing gonna go.
Mhm.
All of y'all are gonna nod because you already know.
Yeah.
Wendy's gonna wait and be like, well, no, explain that. I'm like, I don't want to. Well, what it is the guy's gonna say this, then I'm gonna say that, then he's gonna. But
Yo, that's
the
facts,
four of
bro.
us are like, no, I know.
already know.
Yeah, we already there.
Right, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna give me an estimate. I'm gonna give him another number. Then we're gonna come back and forth. He's
That's
gonna tell me this.
factual.
And so instead of doing that, 6 times back and forth, you'd be like, yo, y'all already know. Do
Yeah.
it. Joselito's gonna ask me for this, but Wendy's gonna wait anxiously, like, no, expand on that. It's like,
Yeah,
Yeah, they like
Now-
like details.
now,
for sure. Yeah.
that being said, there's certain miscommunications that don't necessarily happen with women.
Yeah.
The thing with us dudes is we go, when a miscommunication happens, we go, you know what, we'll figure it out next week
Word.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. We move on.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
Women ain't like that.
No.
And so what ends up happening is we have a higher tolerance for miscommunications and nonsense than they do. And so, to answer the question, they're not necessarily bugging, but we're also not listening. So
yeah.
and I'm the most guilty of this because again, I'm just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah. You're not gonna lose sleep over it.
Yeah,
Me neither.
I'm really not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you are, because you're gonna get home and when you're in the bed, she's gonna say, "Yo, so remember earlier when blah 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 blah." Now I can't sleep.
I'm
'cause we're
already
gonna be
asleep.
talking about what
Yeah.
took
I'm
place.
already knocked out. I
that's
fell
one thing I
asleep.
don't
Oh
like
no,
to do.
you're already
I fell
knocked
asleep
out,
on the
but
couch.
then your wife
He
gonna
said
be
on the
like,
couch.
"I know you're not sleeping when you know we had
So-
this disagreement."
Not for nothing. What is the solution, Wendy? What would you want?
get her duck sauce.
That's number one.
What would you want
for them doing.
for a man to be how what is an active listening man or whatever the case may be?
Wow,
That's a great question.
that's such a
Rico.
great question.
Hold
So,
on, women don't
an
receive these
active-
questions. So.
I know.
Right?
I'm just like mind blown. A man is actually
being sarcastic.
asking.
This is why we don't ask.
right?
Right?
Okay, I'm just so taken aback. Oh my god. No, I think for me, I would like a partner to remember or frequent things. Wendy's honey mustard sauce,
The little details.
Chinese food for duck sauce. Little details
Yeah.
that happen
Every
often.
day.
Wendy's all about food.
That-
So I guess that's the key.
Well, yeah. No, but it goes into
I hear you. I
other
hear you.
things too,
Yeah.
right? Like, all right, the sheets have been on the bed for a while. You know they need to be changed. Why do I always have to? Right? If it's around that time, it's hitting that week and a half, 2 weeks. All right, the sheets need to be changed.
Making the request is annoying too.
Making the request is annoying.
I could, you know what?
Like,
I
we've
could-
been
I could
married
attest to
almost
that.
Oh, you're
10
a woman.
years.
too.
Like, why do
Yeah,
I
I
have
could
to
attest
still
to
say
that.
change the sheets, babe?
Yeah.
You just helped me to understand that song. What I want from you is understanding.
Escape. Hello. Don't you
I
dare
understand.
disrespect Escape
I knew
like
the song. I
that.
just couldn't remember.
Um,
I was going to say real quick.
Yeah.
I think another reason for that is because men tend to be goal oriented.
Oh yeah.
Like if the grand scope of things, like if the mission was completed,
Yeah.
all the other stuff in the middle didn't really matter.
As long
Yeah.
as
Like,
it got
I
done.
went and I got the Chinese food and I came back home, mission accomplished. All
Yeah.
the little things in the middle is like stuff that we miss.
I you know what's
'Cause we're
funny?
so
I'm
focused
like
on the
having
middle.
a
You know what?
seizure
That's
right
you know
now.
what?
But that's
I
kind of
totally-
the train of
you know
thought.
what's
I totally
funny? You
agree
know
with
what's
Harry.
funny? So it's driving her crazy, right?
Yeah.
But I know exactly what you.
Oh yeah.
I know exactly what
Yeah.
he means.
Yeah.
You're
Now,
full now. You're
to
not
be
hungry
clear,
anymore.
for the audience, the millions of y'all listening, women have goals. That's not what he's saying. However, what H is saying is if the car breaks down, right?
Yeah.
We got to push the car.
Yeah.
I don't have to say you get the left side, you get the right side, you get.
Let's
we
get
just
the
be like,
car.
yo,
Yeah,
let's
let's
just
get the
move
car.
Make it
Exactly.
happen.
Wendy's like, well, are we gonna push it up the street? Are we gonna push it in? It's like, yo, let's just get it off the main road,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, in fairness to her, what ends up happening, what could end up happening with us is I'm pushing towards KFC. You're thinking, let's pull it right in over here. You're thinking, and now we're
We didn't plan.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, we didn't plan that.
but it's just difficult. This is one of those things that I know God has a sense of humor
Oh yeah, 100%.
because our brains work so different, right? Like we're just like,
But at the same time,
it
that's
was
why it
intentional.
works so well.
And it was intentional. And if we do, like, let's be glad, and this is a great segue, but let's be you don't want your man to think like a woman. You don't want your man to be a woman.
You don't want your man to think like a woman or be a woman, but you want your man
to consider
to
you.
have you in mind.
Yes. There it is, y'all. That's the golden one. That's the
Have
golden
you in
lesson.
mind.
Have her in
Have
mind.
you
I like
Man,
that.
that is so
like
much.
that.
That's like a billion rules in that one little sentence right there,
It's
bro.
not though. I bet you any one of your wives can go out and buy y'all a whole wardrobe without having your input. Well,
Not mine.
most of your
She's
wives
from California,
can go out
so
or
she'll buy
like
me some chancletas
either
and
buy
call it a
buy
day.
clothes that fit. They know your shoe size. They know your pant size. They kind of get your style, your fashion. Like they can put together something quickly.
or they will purchase things that they like to see you in,
Oh,
right?
But that y'all look good in
Very
anyway.
true. So yeah.
Right.
It's a little bit more difficult for men to do that for their women because with
Oh no, it's way too. It's
with-
too difficult,
with
bro.
childbearing.
No
and women,
comment.
Bro, I have
fluctuate.
something I want to say.
No
Got us out here
comment.
looking
I
like
hate-
picnic
No, no, no,
napkins.
that's-
I hate
My silence is
women's
intentional.
wardrobes. I hate women's what, bro. There's some things you try to hang up. You're like, how do you hang this up?
No, I was just about to say.
What piece is this?
I
Like,
can't
where does it
stand
go?
how I can look
Why
at
can't
you-
it fold and just be
you-
put in the?
I can
the
look
freaking-
at a
This
men's-
convo went a different direction than I thought it
Bro,
would.
I hate women's clothing. It's annoying.
Women's
But
clothing
it-
should be
Like,
on
how do you
all the
iron
time.
this? Yo, how do you iron this, bro? Like, how do you iron this piece? Like,
Especially my wife. I'm talking about my wife.
do you need me to iron this piece? Like, does it need to be ironed?
Look, like I can look at a men's wardrobe and look at a form of something, and I said, "Oh, this is a shirt, or these are pants."
Simple.
But sometimes I look at a woman's article of clothing.
Bro, you can't
and I
hang it
don't
up.
know-
You can't fold
I don't
it right.
know what this is? I don't know where it goes. But
About to go to YouTube.
either way, I feel like the difficulty is men have a lot more details to
Mhm.
sort of sort out.
Yeah.
Lord, when they have to keep their spouse in mind. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't. They should, and it's like a challenge, that it keeps the relationship in a sense new because you're learning something like
Every
about
day.
them all the
Yeah.
time.
Every day.
Like let's say you've been with her like 5 years and you just now started to notice that, my wife always does this she always does her lashes first and then she does her hair.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you'll start to notice things
Little things.
like
More,
little
yeah,
things like
more.
that.
Yeah.
And so as you go along, you're gonna learn these new things, and that's the beauty.
And even when you call it out, like simple stuff too, which Wendy's right.
Yeah.
Little things that you're like,
They
oh,
love
I thought
that.
you were gonna do this, and you're like, oh, you were paying attention.
Yeah, they love that,
Aye, bro.
babe. You know that you always
Aye,
do your
bro.
lashes first, then you do your then be like, oh my god, he was paying attention. Like they love that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
Trust me, it ain't like that duck
feels
sauce
like
store,
a-
you heard?
It feels like a headache,
You know what I'm saying?
but it's a good thing because when you notice it, and that's something that guys need to do. When you notice, when something comes across your mind about your lady, especially if it's something positive, say it.
Yeah.
Yo,
yeah.
if your lady looks good
Yeah.
on a certain day, like she's looking real good.
They got me
Don't
saying,
just think it.
mama,
Yo, tell
mama,
her.
mama.
Yeah.
Because that's going
Give it
that
that
nugget
boost.
is
Yeah.
going to be good later
Yeah.
on. Like at 7:00, 8:00 when the kids go to bed, it's a
Yeah.
good nugget.
What about at 1 a.m. as well?
It
Well,
works.
you're
for-
not typically talking at 1 a.m, friend. And that's for the
works.
late night cap. Let's
it works. Keep her in mind, fellas. Keep her in mind.
Word.
Segue into our final topic, main topic. We want to be careful about this conversation because we like to protect the image of a child because we think children are important. But we wanted to bring to the forefront the ongoing topic about Dwayne Wade and his child, and Lil Boozy blown up at Planet Fitness, calling D Wade out.
No, man.
No, man, come on, dog.
First
Don't
off,
cut it off,
just
man.
to introduce the topic,
Yeah.
because the Boosie angle is funny to me. Dwayne Wade and his wife Gabrielle Union came out this week to let the world know that their child will now be known as Zaya and will I suppose live their life as a female moving forward.
Mhm.
Little Boosie recorded himself, and
Boosie's a
again
rapper.
for the
Retired rapper.
in general, right? Rappers are not usually the brightest people in the world.
No.
That's
No.
kind of a that's kind of a generalization, but it is unfortunately kind of accurate. That's
Snoop and
why,
head rap, Boosie at the
right?
beat
You know what I
don't
mean?
Work.
And so he came out and he posted a video of himself chastising Dwayne Wade and his wife for allowing his child to change their name and live their life as a female. But he went on to like chastise Dwayne Wade for allowing his child to change their sex physically. Which, if I'm not mistaken, Dwayne Wade did not say.
No.
Yeah, he didn't. They're just
No.
assuming.
He alluded nothing to
They're
that.
assuming. Yeah.
The thing that made me laugh about that, what you just brought up, is that I have a group chat with the idiots I know in Florida. And one of the idiots posted the video and said, I agree with Boosie. And so when I watched the video, I'm like, yo, but Dwayne Wade never said that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then I
Strong
asked
argument.
this moron, yo, did Dwayne Wade say this? He's like, oh, I'm not sure. Why are you agreeing with somebody when you don't even know if the
Yeah.
thing is happening?
Exactly.
Don't
Yeah.
even know the flavor. Get out of
Now-
here, baby.
To shift away from the child, for me,
Yeah.
I have kind of a bigger issue with public parenting,
That's what we
Yeah.
want to zero.
right? Like, there's an inappropriateness to it in the sense of like in general, I'm just not a fan of like people who use their children to get attention. And there's an aspect to this that feels that way. Like it feels very much performative. Like almost like, interestingly enough, if his child had an issue wetting the bed, he wouldn't share that.
No.
No.
Right? Like
No,
you wouldn't be
for
like,
sure.
yo, this 11-year-old can't stop wetting the bed. You wouldn't do that because everybody be like, yo, don't do that.
Yeah.
This is like an equally personal thing.
Oh yeah.
You-
More personal than anything. If you, yeah.
I'm gonna let you continue. Real quick, you are literally putting the burden of a whole movement on the shoulders of a child. But continue.
No, it's actually a phenomenal point. And I also would go on to say, like, I wouldn't say hide this child. That's not my position. But there was like a left turn that happened a couple of years back that they seem not to be able to turn back from. And so there's a bizarre thing that happens in which each development with this thing will now have to be announced. And I'm super uncomfortable.
or
with
if
that.
they try to hide, they'll be like, "Why are you trying to hide it now?"
It's almost
You
like
know
that
what I mean?
couple that posts everything that goes on in their relationship.
Exactly.
And then after a while, like you ain't see
You
no
don't see no
posts.
posts.
and they start
The
asking
relationship-
questions, and
the
you say, "Mind
relationship-
your business."
The
and you're like,
relationship status changed, and like somebody asks you, they're like, "Mind your business." Like, well, now you wanted me
I was
included.
about to say,
Already
no,
here,
no,
you
no.
baby.
included all of us.
You let me see
Nice.
season 1. You didn't let me see the finale. Like,
Right.
what's good?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And so, again, like, you can't put the movement, whether you agree with it or not, you can't put the whole movement
yeah.
of something like of this magnitude on the shoulders of a child who hasn't even made it fully through grade school yet,
Yeah.
who hasn't finished developing yet, who doesn't even know who he is yet as a person, who she is as a person. They haven't even begun to discover that yet.
Yeah.
And for you to put her out there like that, it's just it's
You make a
I feel
great
like
point.
It's
I want to
inconsiderate.
touch on that for a minute as well.
Go
About
ahead.
because you said they're in grade school. The decisions that they make while you're trying to put this on somebody that technically can't make many different decisions anyways, right? So one thing that Boosie said was the fact that, which doesn't make sense, she's 12 years old, and she doesn't know what she wants to eat for dinner yet, right?
Right.
So the question is, does a child of that age, are they able to make those type of decisions? Do we know if they're capable of making those decisions or not?
They really can't by themselves legally. I believe they can't. Right?
No, just like on their
Or
own
just
as a
on their
human
own?
being. Can I make that decision? Am
You
I
can't make
competent enough?
The parents have to support it. They have to naturally. You know what I'm saying? You're living under their roof unless the kid wants to run away or whatever.
If
But
he wants to be emancipated from his parents, if she wants to be emancipated from her parents, at which I don't agree with either, because your parents are they're your shield against the world.
Yeah.
They're your guiding light for the world when they put you in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so like you can't make that judgment call because you don't even have the capacity or understanding to make that sort of decision. You know, and I feel like Wade doesn't realize the heavy burden. He's not making his child's life easier by doing this.
So I think it's important as a parent to support and affirm your child in whatever it is that they want to do.
Absolutely.
Point blank, period. And I say that fully aware, knowing that, at this child's age, at 12, at a child's 7 years old, even 18 years old, your brain is still not done developing. No. You go through so many different ups and downs and ins and outs that you may either come back to where you were in the beginning or go directly in a different direction. But a child always needs to know that their parents has their back no matter what. Yes. Whether you like my decision, whether you don't like my decision, are you going to be here at the end of the day to pick me up, to wipe me off? Exactly.
I love that I love that Wade in general is just loving his child.
Right.
Yeah. In that respect.
Important.
Right.
Yeah.
And
what he feels is loving.
Even if I were to put myself, let's say, in this position, right? What is my role as a parent? And for me, I would think my role is as a parent, look, I'm going to be here to love you. You're still 12. You're still growing. You're still developing. Take your time to figure things out because once you go in a certain direction, it's going to be difficult to come back. But at the end of the day, I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to love you. But I agree that this publicity that this child is getting and that this family is getting, and not for nothing, also Gabrielle Union is not this child's biological mother.
Nope.
And so that also has another facet to it. Like, I understand that the child lives with Gabrielle and Dwayne, but that's not the child's biological mother. Where does the biological mother stand? I don't know them. I don't know what
she don't agree. I'll tell you that much. She don't agree.
She's not fit to
real quick
to raise the child, I believe. Legally.
Okay. Real quick context. Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade come from two different worlds. Wade is from Chicago. Mm-hmm. Wade's mom is a pastor. Yeah. Wade married, I believe, was his high school sweetheart. Both believers, both into the faith. Both hopefully still are heavily grounded in their faith. When they separated, I think Dwayne Wade's wife went through some mental health issues, or they said she was going through mental health issues. People may have said she was crazy, but it might have been the relationships, like their relationship that caused her to be that way. So I'm not just gonna say she was crazy because she did something that she wasn't supposed to do. But all I'm saying is that I don't know the ins and outs of him and Gabrielle's relationship, but I don't think that idea or that encouragement of that idea came from Wade to begin with. I feel like that was coached by Gabrielle. I feel like because she's older than him, because she's lived that Hollywood life, I feel like she's been an influence in this. She hasn't come out and said anything. Dwayne's been the spokesperson over this, but I feel like she's the sort of the puppet master behind the scenes a little bit.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't too influential because he said when he heard about it, he had to automatically change his train of thought.
Yeah, which he admitted. But there's certain things that he would say concerning this, where it's kind of the wording of what he would use, like, she's the leader in this. Like, he said that.
Yeah,
I'm like, yo, she's 12 years old. Yeah, like, she's the leader in what? What are you talking? You're the leader.
Dwayne, you're the leader.
Like, you're saying all these words.
Listen, I am for body autonomy. Like, I'm for
Yes.
a child being the owner of their own bodies
Yeah.
and have the rights. So when I feel like when he's saying she's the leader in this, he's following
Following
whatever
her. Yeah.
she is speaking at this time. Like,
Yeah.
you listen, some days my daughter wakes up and she's a mermaid and she will only be addressed by Mermaid Isabel. So I have to call her Mermaid. Right. And so
Don't
I
tell
just
your
play
Haitian moms.
into
For sure. I'm
I got
definitely
a whole
going
speech
to.
about it. Right. But so, Mermaid Isabel, go clean your room. Right. I play into her little game. Right. Whatever.
Yeah.
Now, if she's 12 and wanting to be called Mermaid Isabel, that's a whole nother conversation that
Yeah.
we're gonna have, because you're 12. You should there's a certain knowledge and a certain comprehension that comes with age, right? But with this child, figuring out who she is,
Yeah.
I do wish they would have left this
Private.
Yes.
a more private matter.
Yes.
Because
man.
what if in like 5 years, she's like, you know what?
Gender
Exactly.
transition regret
Exactly.
is a real thing.
It is a real
Yeah.
The
thing.
numbers are
Yeah.
a real thing.
Mhm.
It's real. People who have transitioned and after they done it, they were like, I made a big mistake. There are many, 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 many documented accounts of this.
And some
So,
people do
It didn't make them-
transition
it didn't make them happy.
and
Enjoy it.
and are happy.
So
And
what
we
happens?
just don't know
Yeah.
which road
Right.
Zaya, however.
But
you
this is what I'm gonna
it,
say.
is
Like
gonna take.
what happens when, if she
Mhm.
grows out of this and then she's like, "Why'd you guys let me do this?" What do you say?
My thing is, I try to be as logic as possible. You can't Rachel Dolezal gender. People were
I got you.
outraged when, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is a wrong analysis of these two situations, but Rachel Dolezal worked for the NAACP, was identifying as a black woman, and then her parents came out, two stark white people from the Netherlands, or wherever they're from, very white. They came out in an interview. They said this woman is not white. This woman is not black. We raised her. Her skin doesn't look like that. Her hair doesn't do like she manipulates that to make herself look like that. Black people were outraged that this woman was wearing an identity that they felt like she didn't maybe earn, or
But she identified as black, she said.
that's what I'm saying. Like, as a black person, I'm not for any person of non-melanated skin tone to try and assert into the identity that I have to live with, and you can just put it on and take it off whenever you want. I don't get that luxury. And I feel like in general, I feel like it's a disrespect to women when you can just say, oh, I'm a woman. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Because it comes with a lot.
Because being a woman isn't just long hair and clothes.
Yeah.
Being a woman has so many other things encompassed with it. A weight.
Yeah.
There's a weight to being a woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not something you put on and put off. Yeah, I feel you.
Another example I would give is like, T.I. putting his daughter out there like that. I feel like that's something that shouldn't have been talked about.
Yeah.
And I feel like physically he's not doing it.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's publicly already, in a sense, castrating his child.
Yeah.
Celebrities have a funny way of approaching life in general, which is on the first week of February, celebrities will complain about a lack of privacy and not being able to move through the world, et cetera, et cetera. And then on the second week of February, we'll discuss the most intimate details of their lives.
Yeah.
Again, for Gabrielle Union, Dwayne Wade, his children, his baby, the mother of his kids, the way they choose to raise their children is not our business.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that they keep making it our business.
Yeah.
Because now
Yeah.
my kids, I have a young kid now, but let's say I have kids who are of age. When they see this, they're going to ask questions,
Yeah.
and I have to.
That's the
Not
reality
that
of it
it's
now.
not that it's a
Yeah.
struggle. I'm gonna give it to them straight. I know you're going to make some choices in your life to do certain things, but until you're living on your own, I'm always going to support you. But as long as you're living here and you're living under my roof, you're going to abide by my rules. Now, when you turn 18 or when you go to college or when you have your career, whenever that happens, when you go off on your own, when you're ready to take care of yourself, you can do whatever you want to do. I might give you a little severance package, say, here, like, yo, you're like, if I was rich like D-Wade, I'll give you some money, but because you're living like this, I can't support this lifestyle. So here's some dough, but you got to do, I'm going to call you on your birthday. We're going to hang out. We're going to go to dinner. We're going to spend time, but I don't know if
I hear you.
I don't know if I can be involved in that type of lifestyle.
I understand where he's coming from because it's your responsibility.
Yes.
I think
this
it's
thing,
easy to say that when
I'm not
you're
in.
not,
If it happens,
I'm not in.
right?
For sure.
And when I make that statement, I say that like no, because see, now I don't know this child. I don't know what this child was like as a child growing up.
Yeah.
But you know how there are kids that you see that you know, like that's their passion. That's what they're going to be.
Oh, like, yo,
right?
this person's going to be a business owner one day.
Exactly.
This person's going to do this one day.
Like my brother Greg was putting together drum sets at the age of 3 with pots and pans and lids.
Yeah.
Like we knew that music, like that was something.
The man builds speakers now, like.
Right. But so now
crazy.
there are
Shout out to
also
Grizzly,
young
man.
children that you see that you can see like that little boy walks with a switch and has his hand. Right. So
Yes.
you can
so
see,
you feel it.
You can-
you can
sense
see, right, that if he comes out and says this, I'm not gonna be surprised.
Yeah, you're not surprised.
And so
But he said he knew his son at 3 years old. Like he said his son knew that's kind of the route he wanted to take at
And
the age of 3.
So now
can't comment on
stating that
that.
and seeing that and understanding that, I feel like for me as a parent, it's going to be so difficult for me to say, well, I can't support you when at 3, I already
knew.
You
saw it.
expose them.
Not you expose them. You sometimes you don't have to expose a child to anything for them to have.
Are you
a
talking
passion.
about publicly, like putting them out
No,
there?
I mean, like, what was Dwayne? This is a question. So let me back that up. That wasn't a declaration. That was a question more. Like, did you expose them to that?
Gotcha.
Do they know anything about gender transition?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
That
Did
is a
they
good
know
question.
that you could be what you want to be? Literally,
Got
Like,
it.
Yeah.
if I want to be like, were they at parties?
Is it
where
learned behavior?
Yeah.
You're
Is
saying,
Is it
pretty much?
like did they take him to parties where he saw men dressed like women? Or
Which, I mean, you're coming up with a great point because now, just like Rico said, you come out saying something. You don't give us really any much detail
Mhm.
to the situation. Now we have to assume, what are you doing or what have you done within the process? Has he talked to his son? I mean, to his daughter at this point.
Mhm.
Have they talked extensively about this? I don't know.
I hope
Have they? Or it's just like, okay, you feel that way? Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
because as a parent, and I'm just looking at it, and I know Rico, you don't really agree with what Boosie was kind of saying,
Mhm.
but I could see that he was really like, as a parent, he was talking like a parent, like
it was from
being-
a real place.
being concerned about like, yo, dude, like this is your kid.
Listen, I feel like the Boosies, the Snoops, the TIs of the
Stay
world
out of it.
need to sit down and be like those in
Boosie was
glass
acting
houses.
up.
No.
The funny thing is,
I don't
Like,
know. Listen,
bro,
no, don't
please.
compare Boosie and Snoop.
No,
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 it's the same.
I don't think it's the same. I don't think it's the same.
How is it not the same?
Because he didn't come out
Snoop
saying, "Oh,
coming-
you're stupid," or like you should be.
Excuse the way Snoop cussed Gail King out.
But that was not the
Gail
same
was
way
my mom.
Boosie
I
was
would
No,
put
talking
them
I
about.
know.
hands on Snoop.
What?
That's just
That's
me.
not
For
the
sure.
same way.
Not the
Real
clip
quick,
that
real
I
quick.
saw. Not
Real
the clip
quick.
that I saw.
In the video,
He was like,
Boosie-
"Yo, what was he saying?"
You
He was
need
like,
to-
"Come on, dog. Come on, dog. Come on,
Boosie,
Dwayne Wade.
listen.
Like you can't do that to your
Planet-
son, dog."
Planet
I feel like
Fitness is
he
considered-
was clowning more than anything. Me personally,
He,
because
bro, he really looked concerned,
Yo,
bro.
Planet
he did not. He
Fitness-
was not clouded.
Planet Fitness is considered the judgment-free zone. Boosie was at the gym in the video, and he had it like zoomed in on his face. You could see judgment written on the wall in the background.
But
That
no-
was the most.
But
like,
the
that was most
no
ironic
judgment
thing.
was
Yo,
You know,
definitely-
the
He can't
crazy
go back to Planet Fitness.
one of the craziest things about it is he's not going to be able to get like free pizza and free donuts on Mondays because Planet Fitness will give you free pizza.
This guy is
But
a
they-
joke. This is serious,
same.
man.
free bagels and donuts on.
It is.
Yo,
It
this
is
is serious,
It's
bro.
the same as Snoop in the sense of
him.
it's is two adult men who are too emotional recording themselves and telling the world something in their peak emotions.
But
And it was a
attack
mistake.
Not
people
even
that you should
probably
never-
thinking before.
Secondly, I'm not even sure what angle you're trying to take. One, Boosie was upset of something that's not happening.
Yes.
Do you understand?
we don't know if it's happening.
Fine.
You have a
Fine.
voice.
We don't know.
Fine.
Not at 12.
But you should wait
Wait, exactly.
until
wait.
you know for sure.
But
and
I
then
mean,
I guess
what do artists do? Artists, they wear their heart on their sleeve, right? They say whatever on the track, whatever. But what I'm saying is that I don't feel what he was saying was disrespectful. I just felt that he was saying like you know how you talk to somebody, like you know that guy at church, and then you do something bad to your parent, they're like, Harry, prophesy.
Yeah.
Prophet power for something. You know what I'm saying? Don't
I feel you.
you know what I mean? That's what I felt. That's how I felt.
I hear you. I
Disrespectful.
don't think
It was just like
disrespectful. I
you
hear
didn't
that.
need to. You didn't need to say like.
it's just,
just not
goofy. And I
And he was doing
you know
it
what
to
I
clown,
hate, dog?
though.
You know what I
hear
really
you're saying,
hate?
but he was
Come
You know
on, man.
you know what makes me
You believe
super
he was-
uncomfortable?
What's that? What's that?
There was a time in which these guys were like the coolest dudes in the world,
Yeah.
dog.
Not Boosie, not for me.
Dog, Mr. Wipe Me Down.
D-E-N-T. Do you
And
know
so,
what that means, man?
and so now we find ourselves, and it's like you're older, and you're like, man, you're
What
a
was-
clown,
you know what I
dog,
mean?
and
I
it
wanted to dress
just
like him.
makes me so
What'd you
uncomfortable,
say?
man.
And like I wanted to
Um,
dress like them and be like them. Like, when I
In
was
the
a kid.
end, I reserve my criticism for Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union, just from the perspective of like y'all are celebrities, but it's okay to not share every aspect
Yeah.
of your
Yeah.
life.
Kind of feels like a
Definitely.
clout chase, I would say.
I hope,
There-
LeBron, I hope LeBron says something to him. It's like, yo, man, yo, cut.
It's always
fall
going to be in
back
private.
with that.
But Magic Johnson went through the same thing.
Yes, he did.
Right? And he wasn't public
And we
about
didn't-
it, was he?
But his
No,
son
we
was
didn't know.
36.
Yeah, like we didn't know about it until like
I don't
saw
know
him
when
in
it
a
happened.
magazine.
I don't know
What
when
I'm
it
telling you
Johnson's
is,
he never came out publicly.
He let
with
his
it.
right, that's a
son
good
come
point.
out
That's what
When,
I'm saying.
when- okay,
Exactly.
so thank you for bringing up Michael Jackson, Magic Johnson,
Yeah.
right? EJ, looking back on it, probably like you were mentioning, probably walk with a switch in the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson is somebody who loves being Magic Johnson. I was
Yeah.
just thinking about this last night, the Deontay Wilder fight,
Mhm.
because they showed Magic
Oh, yeah, he was out
Johnson,
there, yeah.
and he was adjusting his pocket square, right? But he didn't know the camera was there. And I remember looking, I'm like, yo, Magic Johnson loves being Magic
Yeah.
Johnson.
Yeah.
The only reason why I bring it up is I refuse to believe that Magic Johnson enjoys being famous less than Dwayne Wade. Meaning these two guys are two people who love being famous.
Mhm.
All right.
The entire career is based on it.
EJ, who now lives his life in whatever way he chooses,
Right.
I had no clue about EJ. Now, in fairness, it was pre-internet, yada yada, blah blah blah.
Right.
But
Until you started seeing pictures, basically.
Yeah,
Reality shows.
but even still, after the internet and all that, it didn't feel like Magic Johnson was parading his son around.
shove him in
Like,
Exactly.
hey, look, world,
Yeah.
I'm part of the LGBT
Yeah.
community. Like, it wasn't none of that. It just happens
And even
to be.
during that time, he was of age. He could have
Right.
did that.
Right,
If Magic Johnson's out, if he's going to get coffee with his son, he's spending time with his son.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And you may have paparazzi who take pictures, and
Right.
people see it in the tabloids.
Be like, that's
If-
weird.
yo,
He's
if
wearing
you-
heels.
If you're coming after Magic Johnson, having Pop Tarts and strudels at the Starbucks, drinking coffee and talking and bonding,
Yeah, yeah.
you're foul.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah.
But because they're not trying to put themselves, they're trying to just live their life.
Yeah.
Whether he agrees with what his son is doing doesn't matter to you.
Yeah.
That's between them. But when you're parading it and you're shoving it in their faces,
Yeah.
I feel, especially when it's a 12-year-old
child,
kid.
yeah.
It's a child.
Yeah.
You
Because
can't-
now,
you
from
can't
this
put
point
that
on,
weight on
Right.
it's
him.
not going to change.
You
Now
know what
they're
I
gonna be there every step of
what
the
I
way.
just thought about just now
You
is
can't put that weight on.
Bernie Mac, right? Bernie Mac in the Kings of Comedy, the Milk and Cookies joke,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And years later, he came out and he apologized. He apologized to his nephew.
Mhm.
Why? Because he explained that he put his nephew in a position that he didn't mean to do. Meaning, by making a joke of these tendencies and different things like that, his nephew now had to defend himself every day and do all of this stuff that wasn't gonna
Sure.
was completely unnecessary. He didn't really ask for.
Right.
And this is kind of a similar thing to me, in the sense of your job as a parent is to protect and provide. And I feel like they're putting their child in harm's way. Not to say, again, they live a life that is very different than ours. But again, it just feels like one of these things where you're putting this child in a spotlight that seems frivolous and unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I definitely applaud them for giving this child space to figure herself out.
Yeah.
Right.
I wish it was a more private matter.
Me too.
I pray behind the scenes. The child is seeing a therapist. The child is figuring
Better be seeing
things
a
out,
therapist.
you know, and working her way through this. I don't think they're going to make it a more private matter because just of the stance that they're taking. They have the child out on the LGBT
They're
float,
already out
and
there.
He was
you
at
know,
the
like they're
parade
at the parades and what you know, which is fine. But I think 12 is too young to be a spokesperson for anything.
Way too much of a
whatever
charge.
it is.
You know what I'm saying? That's like you know what I mean? Like you're too young for that. Now, when they grow up, because we all naturally, kids go through that. Child stars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, when they are heightened to these stuff, like Justin Bieber, you know, just admitted that you would never think this guy,
Yeah, because he looks clean.
like he would say that his bodyguard would come into his hotel at night to see if he was alive,
He had a pulse. Yeah.
checking his pulse. So it's kind of like when you're putting pressure on these kids, you know, like you need to be there literally every step of the
Right.
way because they could relapse in that end. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
It's funny not funny, but it's ironic in these last few weeks. You know, given we're talking about Black history, like we see Snoop Dogg come at Gayle King, we see Boosie come at Dwayne Wade about his kid, and it's like
and T.I. coming out for Hyman's.
it's like the two demographics in our community that should be protected are old, our women, and our children.
Off limits, baby.
I think that should be
They
like
just
a
been
Royal
violated.
Rumble right now.
You
It's a
coming
Royal
after
Rumble
a
in the
woman,
world.
you coming after someone who's someone who's older, your senior, who you're supposed to treat with honor,
Word.
and you're putting a child at the forefront so people can throw their darts. Like these three demographics, our old, our women, and our children, need to be protected,
yeah.
and they have not been.
that definitely is something that blows my mind because especially lately I've been seeing a lot of Black men especially say how women call them this and this and that and that and that, and in my mind I'm like, y'all the people who don't protect us the most, and we
Yeah.
always got your back.
Hey,
Yeah.
we're the only demographic of music that just totally.
Hold on.
I think that needs to be another topic,
That's
but
not
another
old.
day.
It is.
And it's
We
also
actually went
it's
through that
also
last week,
it's
so
also
next week we have to go through
inaccurate.
that. We have to do that next
You
week
We will.
think that's inaccurate?
because it's
The
Can't be
music
the
comment
only-
he made was
Yeah, it
inaccurate.
can be. I mean, there's definitely
Um,
other genres of music that kind of, heavy metal, rock and roll. They
Whoa.
definitely.
And also too,
No, we're
by the
talking
way,
about. No, just speaking about the
That drag women.
That drag women.
that drag women.
Yes.
yeah.
We do it a
Nothing's
lot.
more glorified than hip hop,
No,
fellas.
it's not.
I
For
think-
sure.
I think
For
we do
sure.
it a
Hands
whole
down.
lot
That took a
more.
whole
Hold on,
nother
a second.
Hands
Hold on a second.
down.
Hold on a
But
second.
that's
Hold on a
another
second.
topic
Hold
for
on a
another
second.
day,
Hold on,
fellas.
hold on, because it has to be addressed.
Okay, here we go.
Hip hop has made there is a specific category for the denigration of women. I'm not saying it's okay, but the people who dance the hardest to that music is Black women.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Understood.
Okay.
All right. So let's be clear. Not to say that it's okay, but it is a fact of the matter. Secondly, when's the last rock album you listened to?
Linkin Park and Jay-Z.
All right, that's like 14 years ago.
What's so funny? That album was hot.
D, how much
That
Def
was
Leppard have
hot.
you listened to?
Not much.
Not much. How much Aerosmith H have you listened to?
No,
Okay.
thank you.
All right.
No, thank
Now,
Dream on.
now,
Dream
now, here's the
I
thing,
actually
right?
like Aerosmith.
There's
Nice.
a lot of metaphorical disrespecting of women, but there is a lot of disrespecting of women in that music too.
For real?
I'll take your word for it.
Yes.
think
I
you're
mean,
an honorable guy.
I should
just
say
ain't as
but
straightforward as
objectifying
tip
in the
drill.
whole 9 yards.
You know what I mean?
Now,
Never heard of it.
black men need to do a better job of protecting our women,
That's exactly my
Our
sentiment,
Right?
old
my
and
friend.
our children.
right? But I guess what I would want to clarify as far, because my pushback, Wendy, is not that I'm not here to say no, black men stand up for black women. That's nonsense. It's not true. Matter of fact, we're the best at disrespecting our women. Like if you look at that Snoop video, he didn't have trouble coming up with what he was going to say to that woman, right?
No.
He wasn't chasing words.
No.
He faked like he was hesitant, but as soon as he decided to say it, it flowed right out of his mouth. No
And he-
stutter, no nothing.
And did it in his wife's head wrap.
Right.
always
He doesn't have a wife, right?
But that being
Nah, he's
said,
married.
He's still
that
married?
being said,
Yep.
predatory behavior towards women of their own race is not a black phenomenon. If you go to these college campuses,
Oh boy.
these white girls are
Girls-
coming out and saying I'm being harmed, and it's not Daquan's.
The Me Too.
Okay, it's
It's,
a lot of young white boys
Yes.
victimizing white
Yes,
girls
these are-
and
these are
treating
true.
them poorly.
These
And
are true.
again, not to say that our behavior as black men is okay. I just wanted to
We
clarify
ain't the
that
only ones
particular
doing
thing.
I definitely feel
But
you.
our message is so
Point
sauced
taken,
up.
point received.
You
No,
understand that?
most definitely.
Our message is so
But-
lit.
Round,
You dance to it
Comes from the
anyway.
producer.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
You dance to a crack murder every day. Come
rounding
on.
this up, and I think it took some great turns, but capping off this Black History Month, have your woman in mind, protect our old, protect our women, protect our children.
For sure.
Stay
No.
strapped. Grrr, ba, ba, ba.
Yes.
Really?
And after that super ignorant outro, and I don't mean, and I know we're running long, and I know this episode has kind of been all over the place. But think about this for a second. A 20-year-old was murdered last week.
Pop Smoke.
We haven't even touched on it,
Yeah. Pop Smoke.
Yeah.
right?
Maybe that might be the
And
next
and and here's the thing: the reason we haven't touched on it is, myself included,
Yeah.
it's normal.
It's normal.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, and I quite honestly didn't know who he was.
He
I'm
was
I'm being dead
the
honest.
rise.
I was like,
He
I've
was
never heard of Pop
the
Smoke.
rise. He was how can you say? He was supported by the OGs, you could say.
Okay.
He was supported by the
I
OGs.
guess here for topic of the week, next episode will be the normalization of Black genocide.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Through
Heavy.
music, entertainment,
Yeah.
and sports, I guess,
Yo.
too.
News.
News,
The law.
the law.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Medical. Thank you for listening. This is Beyond the Walls. We'll be back next time.